What's up, Weekend Warriors, and welcome back to another episode of TokuCHATsu on the Weekend Dojo. Tonight is our end of Kamen Rider X8 special, but before we get into our entire opinions of Kamen Rider X8, we are going to be going over, we are going to be going over the latest episode, the last episode of this season. So, here's the brief synopsis. Cronus is defeated.
Actually, didn't he just commit suicide?
Well, kinda, but not on purpose. It's weird.
I thought it was intentional.
No, he was trying to infect himself with the Game Deuce virus so that he could become Game Deuce.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was just being a sore loser and finding the easy way out.
After that, the doctors give their statement that the Bugster virus is not completely eradicated and still small traces of it still exist. Dan Kuroto is still in prison. The guy who wrote the Juju Burger game is now the CEO of Game Corp.
Yep, that brought a big tear of joy to my eye.
Nico is back to doing her normal high school shtick, and she invested all of her winnings into Game Corp stock. And Poppy and Pallid come back.
Yep.
That doesn't stay shut.
Is the ghost of Kamen Rider's past and haunting your room?
No, the door just doesn't stick. It's getting cooler, and the door frame is shrinking a bit.
Okay.
So let's go over our opinions of this episode.
It was a big tear fest, a saying goodbye tear fest.
I didn't care for certain aspects of it.
I must be just easily impressed then.
Well, firstly, I don't like the way the main villain went out. I didn't think that was a satisfying enough victory.
Yeah, it was too easy.
I liked that the creator of Juju Burger got to be CEO. I think that's great, and I like that Nico got to go back to being a normal high school girl.
Oh, I still have a question. What happened to that guy who was trying to make a deal with Masamune?
I don't know.
Remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Anyway,
because you said he was going to be important later. Remember, you predicted that one dude who was trying to strike a deal with Masamune was going to be important later.
Yeah, I had that prediction. I didn't, but I guess it didn't come.
Yeah. They got it the fan.
True, like I thought. I was hoping he'd be there for a while. Anyway, here the other part I didn't like was bringing back Poppy and Pallid.
Can I disagree with that?
Let me explain my case.
Okay.
When they died, their deaths had meaning. They had weight. It progressed the story and allowed our characters to become more mature, to become more sober. It provided weight to the situation and made you appreciate the victory for what it was worth, of at least a little bit. Because with the way Masamune went out, the only thing that gave it any kind of meaning to me was the fact that Poppy and Pallid were dead. When they came back, all that meaning and weight was taken away.
I guess, yeah, I see where you're coming from. Is there anyone watching? I'm checking.
No one yet.
Yep, no one yet. I guess, yeah, All right.
and that is my point of view. I didn't care for this ending. It was a good show, but the ending just I did not care for it.
Okay. I love that Taiga finally got his medical license back.
Yeah, he's gonna have to hire someone to clean the hospital, though.
Yep. We've got Nico.
Pardon?
He's got Nico. She's an intern there now.
You really think that he's gonna convince her to frigging bleach every last inch of that hospital?
No. Well, it's a clinic. Let's just say it's a clinic at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe he owns a small part of the building. I like, though, that they ended it so that way they can return.
Yeah, they're still active.
Yeah, they're just not active riders. But, like, I like the ending with the bug virus still being a thing, and that they still have to fight and threats when they happen. Like, one of my pet perks is when they have rider wars and you have riders that return that there's no reason for them. There's no way they could have returned in the way they are.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
But at least this, they seem to have fixed it. And I theorize they're going to have riders, all rider shows end now with an open future.
We'll see.
I didn't watch Death. Didn't the last few end that way? I haven't watched Ghost, so I can't really vouch for Ghost.
I didn't watch Ghost. Let's see. Drive was a little open-ended, but except they sealed the belt away. Except they sealed Beltson away.
I'm not that far.
Not to return.
But I don't care about spoilers, so the fact that you told me that, I don't care.
Gaim. Well, he is still an active rider. He's a space god on another planet taking care of the Yggdrasil forest.
Okay.
Wizard, he's about done. He's just out there kind of looking for a place to bury the Philosopher's Stone.
Okay. Ichigo is still out there.
Yeah. Forze gave up his belt.
Okay. Double Faltero is still active.
All of the greed were defeated in O's. So the metals no longer existed.
Decades of
Double
dimension travel or so.
Double could potentially still be going on.
Well, it is.
Because Gaia memories are still getting made.
And it is because of the manga is still running.
Yeah. Decade never happened.
Yeah, that's an alternate reality. I mean, it happened, but it didn't happen. You know what I mean?
It was not canon it did not follow the canon of any of the other Rider shows.
No, it didn't. Deno still exists because Momotaros doesn't need Ryutaro anymore for him to be
Ryutaro.
Ryutaro, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I think that actor got really sick, and that's why he can't do it anymore.
Sick?
Plus, they've gotten... I don't know. He might. I'd have to look into it more.
Well, before we get back into X-Aid, I just really want to bring this up because I was watching a Deno movie and I couldn't help but notice this. Do you agree that the Imagines are pretty much the Three Stooges of Kamen Rider? The four Imagines?
Yeah, they're the four. They are the Four Stooges. As a matter of fact, Easy Rider from Toku Time made that exact analogy.
Because Momotaros is Mo. I'm pretty sure Toei was pretty much doing a Three Stooges reference with those characters.
Yep. Oh,
Well, we got a viewer.
but Easy Rider of Toku Time on tokutai.me is now recruiting reviewers for written articles, video reviews, whatever. Doesn't matter how much fame you have, you can join the Toku Minutemen Initiative.
I want to join.
If we're doing this, though,
we can join that and do this.
I don't want to put too much on my plate.
I do. I have more time to do than you think.
Yeah, all right. If you've got time between school and this written articles, I mean, if you got, I'd rather you not leave. I won't stop you, but I would like you to stay on.
Oh, I'll be on. I'm not leaving. Wait, do I have to write, or is this a talk thing?
The Toku Minutemen Initiative?
Yeah.
He's looking for people to make, like, podcasts, videos, and written articles.
I'm not writing. I'll do videos and podcasts, but I'm not writing. I don't write articles. I suck at that.
Now, he's only doing auditions, so it might have to do with, like, also your quality of camera and lighting.
Okay.
So you would actually need to invest in a proper camera and get some good lights.
Mm-hmm.
And get really good at editing.
Better than I already am. Yeah, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna stay here. That's my only thing. I'm not.
Well, I mean, I can show you some tricks for editing though, for like using proper computer software. They're not advanced tricks, but they're tricks nonetheless.
Yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Anywho, back to the subject. Wow, we get started talking business all of a sudden. Anyway, so yeah, go check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, back to X8. So this last episode felt rushed, I guess. It felt really short.
Hey, you gotta invest in that build hype somehow.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
That's
for toy collectors, just real quick, for toy collectors, if you want an actual deluxe gamer driver, right now is when you should be buying one.
Yeah. How much is it? What is the price right now?
Let's take a look. I'll go to my favorites online middleman, Hobby Link Japan.
All right. I may wait like a month or two because I am currently have money set aside for my Red Ranger suit, and I'm waiting.
If you're gonna wait a month or two, you're not gonna be able to afford it.
All right, then I'll just get it as when it prices back to its normal price.
Yep, hold on, it's taking a minute. Oh, bad.
I'm waiting for the SIC Deno figure to come in.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
What?
The SIC Deno figure?
Yeah.
Sword form, right?
Yep. Is that your favorite one?
Well, it's the one people usually think of.
With SIC?
Yeah. Well, with anything.
I'm sorry. I literally jumped the Deno train recently. That is both a pun and a statement.
Yeah, it's well, like Kenny and I, who actually like Kamen Rider Deno, we're typically frowned upon because apparently they do not. The fandom the majority of the fandom did not care for it.
Why not? I hear a lot of people like Deno. In fact, a lot of people praise Momotoros as a character.
Well, they make fun of him because he's sort of a meme in the community. Really, only over in Japan is Deno enjoying continued popularity.
Okay. Well, I like Momotoros. Momotoros is life. He's definitely not a kid-friendly character either.
Yeah.
Well, he says the F-bomb constantly.
Only in the English subtitles.
I know. There has to be some word though that's equivalent, Japanese equivalent to that for them to use that word though.
Not really. I mean, the word that they're translating in that English subtitle is used in Super Sentai all the time. It really doesn't have as much weight as you think it does.
Oh, okay.
What
It's just
Momokaros is doing is just speaking in a rude manner.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. You just killed it for me, making me think that Ryder was more mature. I feel bad now.
No, as a matter of fact, people say that Den-O is too much like Super Sentai. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Yeah.
So, let's go over probably from beginning to end. Let's talk about the series as a whole, starting with the typical. In the beginning, I was skeptical of it because it seemed to be pulling the whole Miracle Kid angle on the Miracle Kid trope with Emu.
What is the Miracle Kid?
The one who's never really done the thing before, but the moment they pick up the thing, they become amazing at it.
Oh, like Drive?
No, like in this situation, he'd never used the gamer driver before, but then he instantly. So yeah, I definitely noticed more special effects early on.
Mm-hmm. Is this Toei's biggest budget for a Kamen Rider season?
I wouldn't say it's their biggest budget. It could have been a very big budget. Let's think. What was last year? Ghost. I don't think they had that large a budget, honestly. I think they blew most of it on the early on stages.
Uh-huh.
Or like they used most of it for the caps of it, and then the middle there was very low editing budget.
Well, considering the amount of money Kamen Rider makes, they have way more than enough of a budget to do something with big effects if they wanted to. But
that's interesting because you see, to me, I've noticed that when toy sales for a given Kamen Rider season are particularly high, then the next season tends to look nicer and have better editing skills and a cooler gimmick.
Yeah.
And Ghost's toys, they were average, but it's not something that people really bought a lot of.
X8's toys were fun off the roof, though.
Oh yeah, they ripped a hole in the clouds, which gives me high hopes for Drive.
Build.
Yeah.
Drive already happened.
You messed me up. You messed me up. I was gonna. I pictured Build in my head, but I've said Drive for some reason. I think it was the red in the rabbit tank mode.
I know you want to ride in the Trideron again, but I'm sorry. It was a nice drive, but it's over. Move on.
Speaking of which, I was at when I was at Comic-Con, the Batmobile was there. Not the Batmobile, it was a replica, but it was cool. Anyway, where was I? So, this gives me high hopes for Kamen Rider Build. But we'll talk about that towards the end of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like the stories towards the middle of the season. I liked the arcs, but it seemed to me like the editing was dropped down quite a bit. Less special effects.
Near the end?
No, towards the middle.
Okay. Like, give me an example.
Well, like in the first half of the first part of the show, when the first time we see Emu transform,
mm-hmm.
we get the whole shebang. There's the bricks everywhere. The power-ups are everywhere. You see all this digital stuff going on.
Yeah.
You see the level 1 bugster that can be excised from the patient. And then, you've got them using the multiple forms very often. But then towards the middle of the show, they usually jump right to their level 2s or higher.
Yeah.
The transformation sequence is only really complex the first time you see it. And you don't see as many of the obstacles and power-ups that you saw at the beginning when they used their rider modes.
Okay, that makes sense. I never really eyeballed that, so I didn't notice.
It's just a typical thing that you would see for a show that really wants to sell the toys.
Yeah.
So very early on, it did have some good arc going. I loved that we knew who the Black X8 was, but the main characters did not.
Right.
I think that was brilliant.
What did you think of the plot twist that he wasn't even that major of an enemy?
That was kind of interesting. Well, once he revealed himself as Kamen Rider Game, and you started using Dangerous Zombie, then I kind of saw him as a threat.
And yeah, before Dangerous Zombie, he was just a troll,
more or less.
And then he gets killed by Prod.
He does.
And I think when he turned into a bugster, that's when he started slowly becoming a hero.
And more interesting of a character.
Yeah. How many lives did he have left at the end of by the final episode?
4.
4, okay. So you think he'll die soon?
No, wait, 3.
All right. Can he get more lives? That's the question.
I don't know if he can.
I'm sure there's a gash at for it. Because remember, all the powers come from the games. So what if he creates a game like Dr. Mario type game, and it gives him lives for completing the puzzle?
Well, it's more like that was the tester version of the game. Technically, that should mean he has unlimited continues, but I think they wanted to put a limit on it for weight. So essentially, that was locked into until he restarts the game.
Okay. So then he could restart the game and still live.
But think about the only person that we know of that had the restart power or the reset power.
X8?
Cronus.
Oh, yeah, Cronus, yeah. Okay, yeah. I was thinking of X8 with his final form.
That's reprogrammed, but
okay.
So essentially, they lost the only person that could reset the game.
Yeah.
That's how it works in my head. Dude, are you tired?
No.
You seem kind of like drifting there.
I'm scratching my foot.
Towards the middle, I have to say the only memorable couple of episodes for me was the Burgermon arc.
Oh yeah, how many episodes was that? It was like 2 episodes?
Let's say 2 or 3.
Why is it that I've never felt such emotion for a hamburger in my life? But this makes me that arc really made me, like, whenever I ate hamburgers, I felt bad now.
Well, no, because Burgermon likes burgers.
Yeah. Well, he was a hamburger. And now when I was eating hamburgers, all I was thinking was R.I.P. Burgermon.
But yeah, Burger Mom would love to share hamburgers. Oh, Christian
Yes.
Torres asks, "How are you?" We're very well, thank you.
Who?
Christian Torres, one of our viewers.
Hello. We're talking about an overview and retrospective of Kamen Rider X8. The season ended last week.
Yeah.
If you've not checked it out, definitely check it out.
Let's see. So, yeah, I know that the Bang Bang Simulations, Tattle Fantasy was a big moment, but it's like it seemed to me like it was kind of a useless upgrade because only Taiga or Hero could use it. And then they made a second one, which seemed kind of pointless. Why not just make two separate Gashats and scrap the double one?
Yeah. Scrap the double. But you can't scrap double.
Just get rid of the interchangeable one is what I mean.
Okay.
Because they're only going to use one or the other.
Mm-hmm. But the more Gashats, the merrier, right? Just shove as many Gashats into your driver as you can.
You just know there's going to be a Gashapon version Gashat of each of those individual games from the interchangeable ones. Like it's going to be a single slot Bang Bang Simulations, a single slot Tattle Fantasy, a single slot Knockout Fighter, a single slot Perfect Puzzle.
What I want is a Gashat that you can put Gashats into, and then Gashats into as you put it into the driver.
I think that would start to wobble after a while.
It would, but how cool would it be?
I think it would kind of stick up after a while, and it wouldn't be that cool. It'd just be kind of in the way.
Here, but here's the gimmick. You can turn it around behind you once you get to a certain point, so you still have back movement.
Well, yeah, but then you can't bend backwards. If you try to look up, you bang your head against the thing. That's a little convoluted, don't you think?
No, I think it's just fine. I just want to wear as many I just want to try to shove as many Gashats in as I can.
Then why not just get a bunch of critical strike slots?
You're smart. Can you fix my chibi driver problem here?
Fix it how?
Can you make it bigger?
I don't have an air pump.
Damn it. Anyways.
So, I'm actually surprised they didn't go that route with the multiple critical strike slots like they did with Kamen Rider Eternal and Kamen Rider Double.
Mm-hmm.
Where you had multiple maximum drive slots.
Right.
I'm actually surprised that didn't come together because game cartridges are a memory storage device. It's read-only memory, but it's memory nonetheless. And Gaia memories are based off of USB ports, which are just writable memory.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, well, it's not really random access because it's stable memory. Anyway, so I was surprised they didn't do like some rider with multiple critical strike slots.
Multiple critical strikes. I'm trying to figure how that would go.
Well, just minus the orange bit.
Mm-hmm. Can you describe the critical strike slots again? And which one is it? The double-sided, the thicker one, thicker gashet, or is that the box that goes in? Or is that
Okay.
Yes, that's the tinier cartridges.
Okay, so it's pick up your critical strike slot that came with your chibi belt.
Yeah.
Remove the orange part, and that's what would be all over their armor and whatnot.
Oh, okay. Huh. Oh, I see.
So that's how I would have envisioned it being done.
Uh-huh. Is that a Scooby-Doo fidget spinner?
No.
Okay, it looked like the Mystery Machine. You are addicted.
Actually, I haven't picked this thing up in days.
The fact that I've seen you carry a few different fidget spinners is scary enough.
They're good for winging at people.
Okay, just keep waving it in my face while we talk Kamen Rider people in plastic armor.
Anyway, so that's how I would have done it.
Okay.
Maybe they didn't want to repeat the trope with Eternal. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. With Eternal is from Ghost, right? That's like the angelic.
Eternal is the White Rider with blue flames on his arms from Double.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's the one who sang. He's the one who sang the surprise Drive song for Drive.
Oh, wait. The guy who plays Eternal?
Yeah.
Song Drive?
Yeah.
Huh. The more you know.
Actually, it was kind of a big deal.
Huh. I need to rewatch Double and to catch that. I never caught that.
It was like way towards the end.
Okay. Well, I still never caught it.
Well, yeah, just look up the music video and you'll see this, and you'll see it. Actually, Kamen Rider Eternal has his own spin-off series.
Okay, I mean, I've seen the music video for Surprise Drive with Ensign Drive doing the, or that's how you pronounce his name. Ernest Drive, I think it was. Or maybe that's his stage name.
Anyway, so back on X8.
Uh-huh.
We know my feelings on the last episode, but I do feel like the build-up to the episode was phenomenal.
Yes, the build-up was phenomenal. Each episode of build-up seemed like the ending, or right to the ending. Every episode from episode 7 to that then. Like each episode had some sort of big cliffhanger.
Well, I wouldn't say a big cliffhanger. Definitely there was some kind of tension implied, but they've always done that.
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely there were definitely a few episodes I would say that were very tense.
Uh-huh. Like what?
I would have to say when Kamen Rider Game Level 10 was revealed.
Okay. I'm checking to see if anyone's commenting yet.
Just Troll and Christian Torres is saying we got that I have 5 fidget spinners. No, I don't have 5 fidget spinners. I got this one on a whim, and this one was actually made by a local artist with a 3D printer. They were selling them just to try to get some revenue for their online store, and I figured why not support them somehow, and so I got the cheapest one I could find.
Danny P says, "Hi, Jesus, got a hair. Hi, Jesus got a haircut, and who is the buffoon in blue shirt?"
I don't feel like getting a haircut.
And he replies, "What a nerd." Yeah, thank you. I take that as the highest compliment.
So Kamen Rider X8 was a bit of a roller coaster ride, really.
Yeah.
They started out trying new things, specifically with the costume design.
Yes, they deviated from the bug eyes that typically each rider helmet has.
Yep. Well, they're going back to it with build.
Mm-hmm.
I think the eyes were not well received in the fandom.
I liked them.
Honestly, this felt like it didn't have to be a Kamen Rider show.
Right, it was its own thing, or it could have been its own thing.
It really could have been. It didn't have to be a Kamen Rider.
Right. You could just call it, if it wasn't a Kamen Rider show, what would you have called it? Like, if it was a new hero created by Toei.
I would put it in the Metal Hero class.
Okay, what would you have called it?
I would have still called it X8.
Just X8?
Or Gamer Doctor X8.
Okay. That would have been a good name. Yeah, and then it could be like a gamer based. What would the gimmick be like each year instead of just following the Doctor Gamer gimmick? Like, what part would you change each year? Would you keep the gaming part or the Doctor part?
Well, that's the thing with Metal Heroes is they get one season.
Okay.
Sometimes they get a sequel season with different characters.
Uh-huh.
But see, each Metal Hero is independent of the other. Yes, you get a few Space Sheriffs, but that's because Space Sheriff was phenomenally popular.
Right. Oops. My phone died. You got any comments?
Danny P says Revenge of the Nerds. Haven't seen that movie in a while.
I haven't seen it yet at all.
Where was I? So I would have made it a Metal Hero series. Maybe instead of using belts, they could have kept the belts. I would have done something like
picture game pads.
Something where they could stick the Gashat into. I would have kept the Gashats.
Uh-huh. I would have gone with like maybe Street Fighter type game pads. Just picture it. Just picture this idea, and they have to do like a combo to transform.
I think that would have made it a little too difficult. I would have just had hit start.
I would have been like up, down, left, right, up, start.
Well, think about how much kids have to memorize anyway.
That's true. It would have been popular among older gamers.
Fair enough. Actually, there's a thing with Metal Hero where they don't actually transform using a device for the most part.
Don't they just do a phrase, do a pose, and they transform?
Well, their suit usually comes from their vehicles.
Oh, okay. So they just put it on?
Well, no. It's like sometimes they put it on. Other times the vehicle projects it onto them.
Okay.
Like Gavan's suit is actually his electro armor. His electro phase armor is actually beamed down to him from his spaceship, which sounds Trekkie as hell.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, something I forgot to mention in our last when we talked about. Remember when we talked about Gavin Gokaiger? There's one thing I forgot to mention.
Gavan.
About Gavan though. The joke about him playing two different Sentai and playing Gavan.
Yeah.
And at the end you saw them all together.
Yeah. I thought that
I
was
had to
cool.
do research because I didn't realize that he's played 2 different Sentai.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And the CGI in there was amazing. Was it like double screen or something?
I think that's what they did. I think they shot the same shot multiple times without moving the camera.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
And just moved him over.
so they left the camera. Yeah, they left the camera anchored in one place, and they would have had to shoot this all within like very few takes, very quickly, with him changing between costumes very quickly, so that they could get enough footage to work with during that time of day.
Yeah. Any more comments? I saw you looking at the screen.
Christian Torres mentions the movie Ghost Rider. No, we're not talking about Ghost Rider.
Yeah. We're talking about a Japanese superhero called Kamen Rider.
And I love it.
Though.
So I would have made it more of a metal hero. It did remind me. It did remind me a little bit of, and you've mentioned this before too, with the hair and everything. It reminded me of Akiba Ranger.
Oh yeah, Akiba Ranger. Yeah, because they have their Ranger helmets have the spiky anime hair.
Yeah, they do. Which I think it would have been cool to have as sort of an unofficial Kamen Rider. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk our favorite our favorite parts and our least favorite parts of the show.
Okay, my favorite part. All the Den Kuruto scenes after him being a bugster.
So post-death Dan Kuroto scenes.
Yes.
Those were fun.
My favorite, his face of his is, you know what's a meme now?
Oh yeah, it's all over.
And it's that's where he says, my own godly talents have defiled me.
Yeah.
Something like that.
My favorite part overall was just that they made an entire suit and filmed an entire arc just to really plug the existence of a Gashat that could only be gotten from a Gashat that was essentially created to advertise for a Burger King exclusive Ganba Rising card.
Oh yeah, because that was I thought it was McDonald's.
No, it was Burger King.
Oh, it was Burger King. Okay, that is right because they did a full story arc, all revolved around getting a Ganbaraya card. That's marketing. That's good marketing.
It might have been McDonald's, but I'm fairly certain it was Burger King, and I can see why you would think it too, because the Gashat is red and yellow like McDonald's.
Well, I always see McDonald's advertised in the front of Kamen Rider videos.
They normally do that too. It could be. Then it probably was McDonald's actually. Yeah. But I think that was just kind of on the nose. Because like normally Honda usually has its bikes in the show. That's why they
it was Subaru
them.
In the Showa era.
Yeah, Subaru in the Showa era, but like for
the only time a Showa rider ever had a Honda bike was in the remake of Ichigo.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like Honda is the big sponsor now. That's how they're able to afford the vehicle every year.
And don't they actually sell like official rider bikes, Honda, in Japan? Like you could get the Decade bike legally and the double bike. Aren't they like made to be like real bikes?
I don't believe so. I believe they are purely stunt bikes.
So I know unless these are third party then. So I know you can buy rider bikes. They're really expensive, but you can buy them. Now here's a question: Is there any possible way to get a street legal Trideron?
I wouldn't think so, because the aerodynamics of it would be so poor that you'd be getting the wheel yanked around all the time. You'd never be able to open it up.
So I assume I could never. I've given up all hopes of driving that baby on the interstate in the U.S.
Yeah, it wouldn't be street legal anyway because of the giant tires on the back obscuring your rear view.
Oh. And the color? And the
I-
goofy shape of it?
The goofy shape of it alone, I would think.
Are there laws against driving goofy shaped vehicles?
Well, it's not so much that it's goofy shaped, but there are certain, in order for a vehicle to be registerable, it has to pass certain standards.
Okay. Is there any law against a car looking distracting?
No law against a car looking distracting, but one wheel without a fender and the other one having one would definitely not pass.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because that creates a weird airflow.
Hmm. The car itself is unrealistic, I guess.
Yeah, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah. It's a cool car. I want the car. I'm not giving up on that dream of owning a Trideron.
You can go see it at Hero World in Japan.
If it still existed.
No, it exists. It's a feature at the museum.
They brought it back?
No, it hasn't been decommissioned. Hero World is a museum. They put all the bikes and the suits there.
Okay, I thought Hero World was taken down though because it was like a lost funding or something. It was like a year ago. Or earlier this year.
I didn't hear anything about it.
Yeah, Hero World got taken down, man.
Huh. I know there are museums though.
Yeah, because it was an exhibition and they had an area like a little Tykes area where toddlers could ride on little miniature versions of the Kamen Rider bikes. They had like a laser tag room or something like that and it had like the Kyoryuger.
Kyoryuger?
Sure, the Kyoryuger Red Ranger there in that area. That was its theme, and they had like an Ichigo and a Shocker Combat Man suits and all this stuff set up.
I think that was a temporary exhibit because Hero World as a museum should still exist.
I know the company still exists, but like they lost the area. They like lost like the area that they had it set up or something like that. I'll look it up later on Facebook or on Twitter, as I follow them on Twitter.
Okay. So, actually, speaking of vehicles, since we've kind of gone on like, oh, you know what? Before we do that, we've done our favorite parts. Let's talk about our least favorite parts of the show.
Least favorite part.
It could be anything.
Hmm. Do I have to choose? I got nothing. All right. If anything, the first 5 episodes because they were just silly.
Fair enough.
Really, that they didn't really offer anything other than an introduction to the characters. I mean, the first episode. After that, it started getting good, like with introducing Taiga, Hiroro, and all that. The first episode was great. It's just if I had to choose out of any of them, that'd be my least favorite part.
I would have to say my least favorite part was trying to give the ride players a story arc. Or giving them individual characters because they were gone so quick.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see that.
And I kind of hope that we get ride player figures at some point in the future.
Right.
At least a Kamen Rider Nico figure.
Kamen Rider Nico. Yeah. SH figure, probably.
Maybe.
Hasn't X8's toy run ended pretty much for all they're releasing?
Well, SH Figure Arts kind of does its own thing. It releases when it feels like it.
Yeah. Hasn't Xaid's toy line ended?
Well, I think we're gonna get one quick little burst of toys, and then it's gonna be over.
Okay.
Because like the movies coming out and everything.
Yeah, yeah. They pretty much sold everything out already, though, except for the next few things. Well, shall we go into build?
Yeah, I suppose let's go into build.
You start.
Well, here's a trend I've been liking with the Kamen Riders that have been going on lately. With the exception of Ghost, we've had Drive, who was a policeman.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Gaim, who's a doctor. And now we have Build, who's a physicist.
Yeah.
Just these big and admirable jobs for kids to aspire to. I think I dropped something. But so, and that's the thing, is like that's how Build was able to create his own driver.
Mm-hmm.
He's a physicist, so that will use science fiction logic to explain away the fact that the suit appears out of thin air.
Yeah. That's cool. And the pipes that form over?
Those are sprues.
Sprues, okay.
Sprues are runners, depending on who you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the little bits of they're like this. This is a little piece of frame that model kit parts come on.
Yeah, yeah. That do you still think that that the gimmick is models with this?
Positive.
Okay. Have they confirmed that that's the gimmick, or is this?
They have confirmed that.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool.
Well, they've confirmed that the motif is model kits.
Okay.
Because, like, did you notice when he was shaking that full bottle when we met him? That's like with a spray can.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the things a lot of very intense hobbyists of the model kit community do, is they will paint their models.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, for a while, you used to have to paint it to get it to look accurate because they only sold it in like one color of plastic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I once had an Enterprise mod that was like that. It was a hand-me-down, and I couldn't figure out how to build it.
Get home. Anyway, so yeah, it's definitely based off of model kit building, especially because it's been confirmed that the rivals will be using spray guns with their full bottles.
Mm-hmm.
What I like too is that like they confirm that there are best matches for these two colors, but you don't have to guess what that is because it's on the cap of the bottle.
Yeah. Tank, rabbit. Rabbit tank.
Gorilla and diamond.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is the connection of these two? Are they just random, or?
I think it's just random.
Okay. Is there some connection between rabbit and tank, though?
I don't know. They're probably going to explain it once the show starts.
Someone's already made fan art of like literal versions of Build. You got a literal red rabbit, blue tank, like a rabbit tank.
Yep. I've seen that actually. It's all over
Twitter. It's all over Twitter. And Amino.
So, I would say I'm actually excited to have a writer who's intelligent enough that he can do all of his own tech building and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, he could even be the first writer who's 100% solo and doesn't have support because he managed to get his bike to transform from his cell phone, which I'm not a fan of.
So, you think that he's going to... Oh, no, he's not going to be the only writer in this because they've already revealed the second.
Well, what I mean is, like, he won't have, like, the support characters.
Right.
The little buddy. That's what I'm thinking.
He'll be a self-made character like Ichigo.
Well, Ichigo wasn't self-made, but because he had help from the guy who built his bike
Oh
a lot,
yeah, that's right. He did.
and the Kamen Rider Club.
Hmm. I see what you mean now. Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. I hope so.
Mm.
Maybe not.
Has there ever been a writer that's been like a self-made man, pretty much?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Huh. This could be the first then. That'd be interesting. I want to. I hope that's the first that they do this, then, because that'd be cool.
That's what I think. If anything, it's going to be an interesting series.
Mm-hmm. Have you?
I like the.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Have you seen the
Go
picture
ahead.
of the toys?
Yes, I have.
With
I love how they fit together.
Yes, they kind of remind me of the Drive toy line, where you would take off the arm to put in new tires.
It's the gimmick toy line, yes. Like with
Yeah.
the X8 figures, they all fit in level 1 shells.
Uh-huh.
They're Transformers Pretenders.
Mm-hmm. The new ones, it's the figures separate and you can reattach new bodies. That's cool. I don't think they've ever done that before, other than the closest they've done is Drive.
Where you take the figure apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because with Gaim,
Wait, didn't Double have a
they had an SH figure art.
that did that separated?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was like several pieces.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't as smooth.
Okay, that makes sense.
I'm really interested to see how they're going to give the head any kind of articulation in the toy line.
Yeah, I don't. You think they will?
I hope so. Because that's the whole point of the gimmick line, is it has to be fun and usable.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway,
yeah, I think that's all we have. Hold on a second. My sisters call me. Can you entertain them while I go? Yeah.
anyway, that's what I'm thinking with build. It could be good. I hope it's good. It looks good to me. But it seems like they're running out of ideas. It feels like Kamen Rider is kind of gearing down, if that makes sense. This could potentially, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. This could potentially be the last season of Kamen Rider. It's the one I would end it on. It would be the 20th season of the Heisei era. It would be the perfect opportunity to just say farewell to everyone without making a big deal out of it being an anniversary season like Decade tried to be and didn't, succeed. So, yeah, I mean, it feels like Kamen Rider's winding down. Although, and I don't know if any Toei executives are watching, probably not, because I'm not that lucky. If any Toei executive ends up watching this, here's a thought. The next rider that you have, make the motif not so much, don't give it a motif, essentially, is what I'm going for. Make it its own thing. Don't have it reference anything in existence. Make it kind of like Kuga, where he had you made your own ancient culture to draw from. And that continued over to Agito. Make stuff like that. I love stuff like that. It gives the writer a sense of individuality. I mean, that's what I would like. I'm just an American viewer, though I'm not technically part of your target audience, so
Okay, sorry. I'm back. Everything's good. Okay, what'd I miss?
I was just talking about how I feel like Kamen Rider's winding down to a close, and it seems like Build would be the perfect season to end the show on.
What? They're gonna... You mean, like, finally...
No, I don't. Like, that's what I feel like could be happening.
I hope not.
That's what I said.
Why would they end it there?
Well, because one, it's not an anniversary season, so they'd be going out with a little bit of dignity. Two, it's trying to be as impressive as the most loved Kamen Rider in the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving it a big, admirable profession. It's giving the main writer the admirable profession of being a physicist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like I said, the 20th season of the Heisei era.
Yeah.
Plus, like, they seem to be running out of ideas, or they're using up the last good ones.
You think Sentai's gonna end soon also?
Nah, Sentai's way too lucrative. I mean, kids are always gonna... kids will watch whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Sentai has been doing some crazy stuff lately.
Yeah. Because I was saying, if Sentai ends, Power Rangers ends.
That is true.
Because you know Saban's never gonna invest in money and doing everything on their own, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've made a few costumes and whatnot, and they've filmed some of their own stuff, but never full episodes.
The closest they've ever done is a movie. And that wasn't even them. That was Lionsgate. All Saban did with that, right? All Saban did with the Power Rangers movies put their name on it and approved it.
More or less, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Saban is... Can we agree Saban's kind of a lazy company?
Saban is a person.
The company, though. Saban Brands.
Yeah, well, it's a bit lazy, but that's just Saban's business practice. They're adapters. They're not writers.
Right.
They're not conceptualists.
Mm-hmm. They're copycats.
Well, copycats with a heaping pile of permission.
Yeah. What do you think? Here's the thing. If Rider ends, Saban has more stuff to stockpile off of.
I don't think he's gonna touch Kamen Rider again.
You think Toei won't let him, or he just thinks that no one's gonna buy it?
He's tried it once and it failed hard.
Yeah, but he also tried a Showa Rider 10 years after it's dead.
True, but you also have to consider that both attempts of Kamen Rider here in the West were commercial failures.
You know why, though, right? The second one failed? Because one, Disney owned Power Rangers at the time, and it was put on a network that was dying. Kamen Rider on a network that was
The problem is, though, is that might be the reason, but the fact remains that it still failed.
That's true.
And the company that had to produce it took a bath on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not something that you try to do a third time.
Okay. It was put in the wrong hands then. Both times.
So I don't think we're gonna get it here in the West again.
Ever?
I don't think so.
Okay. At least not legally.
Yeah. But we're not gonna talk about that.
Can I at least put on my Jack Sparrow costume and sing Yo Ho, I'm a pirate? I'm watching Kamen Rider after this.
On your own time.
Aw, okay.
But
Want to.
do it on your own.
About that.
Do it on your own channel. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
how I feel the series is going. And the thing is, with like, they always manage to make it decent,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing is, I want them to try to make something more than decent. And I think that's getting harder and harder because there's only so many times you can use the same idea.
That's true. Sentai gets away with using the same idea over and over again.
Yeah, but that's because they gear it towards like having multiple Sentai meetup specials.
That's true. Oh, since we were talking about like model kits, a little idea: if you ever collect bear guys, if you have Lego capes, they fit very well.
Oh, good to know.
Yep. As a little Superman cape, I put on my red bear guy, and it looks like it's a part of it. So if anyone out there who collects Gundam bear guy figures, if you have Lego capes, definitely try putting them on. Oh yeah, and if you're gonna buy Ninja Stars, don't buy the American ones.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents for the random 2 cents for the night with toys.
I was going somewhere. Oh yeah, do you follow the GBWC?
No, educate me.
Well, you've got a Gunpla right there.
This, right?
Yes. Well, there are people who make a hobby out of it and build dozens of them. And once a year, there is a championship called the Gunpla Builders World Cup, or GBWC, where builders from all over the world can qualify in a multi-tier bracket to appear at Gundam Central in Japan in November, I believe, to receive, to be judged to see who has the best skills for that year.
So this is like making custom ones, or?
Yeah, essentially the rules are, it has to fit within a certain space and has to be made using primarily Bandai plastic model kits.
Okay, so you're like getting like separate Gundam figures and making your own Gundam out of multiple.
Or it could just be a repaint. You could make a diorama.
Oh, okay, cool.
As long as it fits within a given space.
Yeah.
And I bring this up because much like the TokuCHATsu that we know, Gundam is done again over and over again, just with different plots and different characters.
I need to get back into the Gundam fandom. I love the toys, and I really need to watch the anime. Again.
People kind of have mixed feelings about Iron-Blooded Orphans. Those who aren't really into mecha like Iron-Blooded Orphans, but the ones who have been watching Gundam for a while dislike it.
I assume because it's not mecha themed at all, pretty much.
Well, it is mecha themed, very much so, but they feel like it's trying too hard to be edgy.
Oh, okay.
Personally, if you were to watch one, I would recommend After War Gundam X, or Turn A Gundam.
That's a question. Why did the mecha fandom die out?
They're not dead, but they're endangered for sure.
Why?
It's because people see a machine and they automatically assume things are going to be boring.
Wow. They
don't appreciate the metaphor behind it.
Like, for example, the new Voltron fandom, only like maybe 2% of the new Voltron fandom care about the robot. All they care about is shipping characters. It's literally, I even did a poll on the Amino about it. About 80-something% of the fans on the Voltron Amino in general only came in because they care about shipping characters. That fandom is infected with shippers. And I kind of left it because of it. Because no one cared about the real thing Voltron was even about. They just care about putting characters with other characters.
What can you do? I mean, that's just how fandoms work today.
Unfortunately, are we what you call fandoms or fanboys? Would we be considered old school fanboys then? Like the minority of fandoms?
I guess. Yeah, I guess we are kind of old school fanboys because we did things way differently back when we were kids.
But yeah, because like for example, if you talk to an Attack on Titan fan, they don't care about the whole kaiju theme around it. They just care about the characters. Most anime fans who get into the kaiju anime, for like the stuff we like, the giant monster, don't even really care about the giant monster aspect.
Yeah, it's aggravating almost because
it's like our fan.
Like, I get having good characters is important for the success of a story, a well-written story, but when you make a show about giant monsters, it should be about giant monsters. That's what you should go to see.
Yeah, and I've even said to Attack on Titan fans before, it's about the giant monsters. It's not about some overpowered hothead who never smiles. Levi Ackerman. They disagree, or a majority disagree.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
That's why I fear for the Godzilla anime. The Godzilla Monster Planet anime, I fear that it's going to be, people aren't even going to care about Godzilla, they're just going to care about the characters.
As long as it stays primarily focused on the kaiju and not the main characters. You have to pull a Transformers cartoon and make the humans useless.
Yeah.
That's the only way to save it, unfortunately.
Well, save it from the new fangirls that'll be taking over. Right?
Yeah.
When I first heard of Attack on Titan, I was hyped. Like, these new kaiju look awesome. And then by fans and the people fans. I'm sorry, kaiju anime. I don't care about the humans at all. I care about the monsters.
Yeah, that's like, because we grew up on giant monster movies, man.
Guess what my username is on the Attack on Titan video? Godzilla.
Yeah. Because they wouldn't even get it.
No, they wouldn't. And I've said that before, that a lot of the doesn't even need to be said, but a lot of the obvious influence for Attack on Titan was kaiju film. I mean, the creator never said it, but you can tell in his work that it's obvious. He doesn't need to say it because it should be obvious. It's a kaiju anime. But a lot of the creators or the fans that have watched the interview will say no. It has nothing to do with Godzilla. He was a fan, or he created this because he looked at mountains and thought of them as monsters or something like that, or was wondering what was over the horizon. Nah, I'm sure that was part of it, but nah, every person his age grew up with Godzilla in Japan, so.
Anyway, I think that's a good place to leave this episode of TokuCHATsu.
Yeah.
If you liked it, go follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Remember to go back to the channel page and check out our individual channels in the feature channels bar on your left. And don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow night for a Sunday night stream.
Yep. Yeah, Kendall? Okay. Can you close it? I'll be right back. I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yep. So, remember to check us out tomorrow night. We'd love to have you. I believe we already have a theme selected. And it's going to be a surprise, which is code for I forgot. So, yeah, thanks once more for watching. And as always, I will see you next time, Weekend Warriors.